All right, and we're live.
And yes, good morning, YouTube friends and family.
This is where it all began, almost 4 years ago,
In the kitchen.
in the kitchen. I thought you were going to say India. We went to India. We
Yes.
went to an Indian wedding, participated in it. If you've not been to an Indian wedding, you should go. We highly recommend that you get some Indian friends or family and go to India and experience the Indian wedding.
The uniqueness of it.
Yes. And
Yes.
then when we got back, we said, you know what? Actually, it was before we went, we said, okay, we can't start now because we're going to go to India.
Yes, we thought about having an Airbnb in our house before we went to India.
Yeah.
And then
We're
when
like-
we come back and we said, let's do it. And it actually start in this
Well, I
bedroom here.
said, I'm going upstairs to take photos. I'm going to do this. And I went upstairs, I took photos, and then I came down. And that's when what we call Sunflower was a 2-room suite.
Yes,
And-
because it has an extension.
It had a
room.
whole nother room on it that still had a bunch of our stuff in it. Had that refrigerator that hummed loudly and everything. And what did I do? I listed the entire house under one listing for like $69 a night. And
About
somebody-
4,000 square feet of a house and listed it for $69 a day.
And somebody actually booked it. Our first booking came in, and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" And then they ended up canceling. Our very first booking was canceled, and we were like, "Whoo!" Because by then we had figured out, you got to make a listing for each room. And
Yes.
I had already gone
Yes.
back in and created a listing for each of the 3 rooms. So we started with 3 rooms. We were going to do 2, and then we're like, well, let's go ahead and add this room downstairs.
Well, can you imagine renting this entire house for $69?
A night.
A
And it was a
night?
party of at least 4. It may have been
I
6.
mean, it would cost us more money to go find us a place at night because David accidentally listed it as a whole house.
And that was before Kiemi, but we did have Whisper.
And that's our office right there. And it has a swimming pool right there.
Swimming pool,
below.
waterfront property.
This is a waterfront
Plattsburgh
property.
Creek, and yeah, that was the beginning, and we really didn't have to do anything because Victoria is a natural at decorating. The home already had a very welcoming vibe, and our first guest was a young man. I think his name was Chris.
Yes.
Wasn't it Chris? And he booked one night because at the beginning we didn't realize that the minimum stay had to be changed, and so they automatically set it to one night. He booked one night, and we were like, oh gosh, we got to go in and change the minimum stay to at least 2 or 3 days. I forget what we started at. And he came, and our very first guest requested to extend one more day. And so he ended up staying 2 nights. And then after that, one of our first guests was Hernan, and his wife booked it. So one of our first experiences was somebody booking a room who was not the person coming. And that's happened many, many times since then, but that was one of our first experiences, and we were like, oh gosh, what do we do? Asked for his driver's license and all this kind of stuff. He ended up parking next door, but ended up, as it turns out, after about 1,000 guests, he is still in the top 1% of guests that we've ever had, and he stayed with us for 3 months and was just fantastic. Really set our expectation level really high.
I guess that was a good one or a bad one because we got
Oh, he's
excited.
fantastic.
Oh, we had to buy more houses.
Yes. So within 2 months, no, within a month, we bought 44.
Yes, and then
A month and a half, like
We
5
got
weeks
so
after we got back
excited.
from India, we bought another house.
we have enough inquiry and we decide to buy another house.
Well, and it's funny how that happened because we had a contract on a house and we were less than $5,000 apart on the agreement, and we got a message late at night from Leah, our real estate agent, and she said, "Hey, what about this house?" And we look at it. The next morning we drive over, we're like, okay, here's the pros and cons. It was already running as a short-term rental.
Yes.
And that's where we met Tracy, another real estate agent friend of ours,
Who also owned the house.
who
that
also
was,
owned the house and had it listed. And she was transitioning to doing some other projects, and it was time for her to sell what we
Yes,
now
so
call
part of the house was rented, per room, and then part of the house she was living in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we got that in May of 2022, and ended up keeping one of the guests that she had
For a while,
in there
yes.
for a while. He stayed with us for a while, and then we immediately transitioned her living space into a room and then a studio, and just built it from there. It took off so well that by August, just 3 months later, we bought another house. And that house was in need of a lot of TLC, a lot of tender loving care, and we got all those repairs done. Got all the permits taken care of. New bathrooms, new kitchens, new flooring,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Electrical, all new electrical, and some plumbing work, and a lot of plumbing work.
A lot.
Everything done. New windows, just everything, and finally got it up and running by
Yes.
March or so of 2023. And so then at that point we had 6 plus 5, 11 plus the 4 here. We had 15 units at that point. We had 15 units within a year, within our first year of starting, and we learned so much in that first year.
Yes. So besides with this house, that second house where we have done so much TLC, we end up getting a studio on it, and then an apartment. And
Right, but at first we didn't treat it as an apartment. It was
Yes.
2 individual rooms,
Yes.
and we had 2 ladies.
no, it was an apartment with 2 bedroom.
Well, right, but it wasn't a private apartment.
Yes.
It was where they shared a
Shared.
kitchen and bathroom, and so a lady lived in one room and another lady lived in the other room. Miss Cindy, one of our most memorable guests.
That's another story.
That's another story for another video. but
with guests that we had to deal with. We had to create another.
I mean, in looking back though, Miss Cindy was an angel. I mean, honestly. And so every day, every week, every month, every year now, we just have learned that it's an ongoing process of creating a clean, peaceful, environment, clean, quiet, peaceful environment for people to enjoy, for people to feel at home. It's every day you're looking for ways to improve it. A new decoration, some fresh paint, whatever the project may be. Rugs or no rugs. We've had big rugs in rooms, and then we've like, oh gosh, these are not working out. We can keep it much cleaner with just tile or wood.
We do that because we have such a high expectation on us. We imagine when we go to each of our home, of the rental room is, so how do we feel like if we actually live here, if we actually sleep here? So that's how we treated each room, like we're going to live there.
Well, and when we got that second house, meaning this was the first one, and then we got 44, we asked Tracy, we picked her brain. We were like, okay, you've been in Airbnb for a few years. Tell us everything you know. And one of the things she said was one person room. It limits the people, limits the drama.
Pretty good.
And so we instituted that in almost all of our rooms, and it worked well for us, and we still have that in a lot of our rooms. We have since made some changes here and there with
Unless you have actually a room that has its own bathroom,
yes,
it's okay to have 2 people.
Right.
But we would suggest that if you guys decide to have a rental room only with no bathroom, one person would be a better way to go.
Yeah, one person, but we have, like here in our house, there are no private bathrooms.
Except ours.
Except for ours. And at the beginning, we had 2-person rules on all 4 of all 3. And then when we split up Sunflower into 2 rooms, we basically changed these to 1-person rooms, although we did still have some two persons in Sunflower every so often.
Well, the beauty about this house, it has, a full bathroom and also have a half bath.
Downstairs, yeah.
Downstairs.
And then upstairs has the Jack and Jill.
So upstairs they have 2 huge bedrooms that you can actually put 2, king size bed in each room. That's how big it is.
Well, in one of them we had 2 queen size beds. But
before we turn it into a rental.
They're about what? Through 350 square feet each. Each bedroom, probably about 350 square feet. They're like twice the size of a normal bedroom. But it
has a Jack and Jill full bath there. So this house
and they each have their own vanity in their private area. So that helped here at this house to where we could have 2 people in a room that didn't necessarily have a private bathroom. But since then, though, we have opened up some of the shared bathroom rooms with allowing 2 people, 2 guests in there. But, all right, it's time for Victoria to eat her breakfast. And we don't have any rooms to clean today, But as we continue on this journey, sharing tips and tricks and different things about running a short and midterm rental business, we're going to show you some of the rooms, some of the decor, some of our strategies, some of our pricing strategies, and hopefully you'll find that helpful in running your business. And you got to have a mascot. We got Kiemi, what now, about three years ago? So, oh girl.
2.5, almost 3 this year.
Yeah, 3 this year. And so people love her and she loves people. So, all right.